Okay, so it's time to think about assessment for your Moodle course and how you're going to integrate it. And that means setting up a gradebook. Now, it's likely that you have some type of equivalent of this document here, a design document, a syllabus, something of that sort. Obviously, the less formal the course, the less formal and the simpler the document. If it's within the state school or university context, the equivalent document will be quite a scary one. Um, very, very complex and actually quite mathematical in nature. But let's go with this easy one. This very simplistic one is the one which belongs to my course. You can see with the yellow backgrounds the 5 key sections of my course. I've got under each one the subtopics that I'm going to be tackling. And I've started thinking about grades and weighting. Now the grades in mine are just going to be a default 100 for participation. I'm not really evaluating, it's not a true assessment. But just for argument's sake, I've been playing about with weighting here as if the grades were differentiated, just trying to think if I was awarding grades, what kind of weighting I would do. And I would complete this document by adding in materials and specific activities. And if I decided to go down the assessment route, figure out the correct grades and weighting for each thing. Now, regarding the setup of your gradebook, in actual fact, at this stage, even more important than grades or weighting are the categories, because you have to figure out what belongs where and what items belong to what parent category. Otherwise, your gradebook will be a little bit messy. So we're back inside my course, and as you can see from the tabs here, those headings correspond to my course design document. Those are the 5 sections where the material and activities can be found. So now we're behind the scenes in the editing of one of these activities, which belongs to the writing section, section 3. If I scroll down, have a look at grade, you can see that I have attributed a category to this activity. So it belongs to section 3. I popped it in section 3. I have the options of all the sections that I have in my course and the category names that I have created for them. And I did that in the gradebook. So it goes automatically into the correct part of the gradebook. Grade to pass, maximum grade, these things we've looked at in other moments and other videos, so I'm not going to go into these just now. The important thing is to set up the grade here behind in the editing of the activity and to make sure that you attribute a grade category. Oh, it has to be acknowledged that a lot of you will not want to put your grades into section categories. You may want to put them into categories like weekly quizzes, midterms, final exams, and so on and so forth. It's absolutely up to you how you arrange it. Now here's the deal. With each of these activities which you set up, some will not ask you to attribute a grade, some might want a rating, or like in the case of forums, you'll have the option of a whole forum rating. This will be your choice. But for each activity, your actions in the creation of the activity, the setting up the grading or the rating, or the whole forum rating, whatever it is, will have an impact automatically in the gradebook. Now, grades can be found up here in the blue menu. And what we're seeing here in front of us is the grader report. You do have a whole bunch of other options, but default it opens to the graded report with your students down one side and their marks, their grades so far across all the items that you have created for your course. But this is the end result. What we have to do before we ever get to this stage is set up our gradebook, and that happens with gradebook setup right in the center of this drop-down menu. Now, while you're still working on your course, which is to say, before your course is entirely finalised, it is not worth the effort of intervening on the weights. When you are ready, you would do it with this little edit button here on the side, which allows you to edit the settings, and in here you get to play about with the altering the weight. At this earlier stage, what is much more important is grade and parent categories, and we find those in this grey add category button, which allows us to invent a grade category. Let's say, I don't know, weekly tests. Natural aggregation, I don't have admin rights, I can't change that, but there are various types of aggregating these grades. You can exclude empty grades, you drop the lowest, you have these other options, and you can intervene here on the type of like pass grade, for example, minimum grade. You have the options of the visualization of the grade with letter percentage. All those kind of options can be found in here. However, what I was going to look at, because my course is not particularly, it's not sort of got a sophisticated grading system, it would be the parent category for the organisation of your gradebook. So, for example, the sections, those various sections that compose my course, introduction, pronunciation, so on and so forth, all belong to the parent category of the overall course called Teaching EFL to L1 Arabic Speakers. That's fine. But say I'd done an activity, I'd created an activity and I want it to go into, in an organisational sense, I want it to go into the introduction. I just change the parent category here and save changes like that. And the system will automatically, so I've obviously changed category by mistake, it's reorganized it. Now, if you don't get the layout that you want, you decide that looking at it, you think, no, okay, this problematic pairs was actually not a part of section 1. It belongs to the section dedicated to grammar. So a quick word to the wise, because this can be quite frustrating. That appears to me like a drag and drop symbol. Turns out it isn't. It's a click on mechanism whereby you click on it, this appears, instead of grammar, and I'll just pop it. I just click again in one of those grey areas. See, it's recalculating because I've shifted it. So it's adding whatever the grades whatever grades would be generated by that activity, they will go into the grammar section. And that, for the moment, is that.